in and ask any questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and just keep yourself muted while not asking questions, so we don't have a lot of background noise. So Jim and I are kind of tag teaming this class today. We have a lot of ideas that we want to share with you guys on ways that you can be prospecting for business while all of this is going on. I don't know if you guys saw, but we put out this morning the statistics from Maryland Realtors that came out about the housing market and the current housing market and March's numbers. And March saw record numbers for sales, price increases, closings, new listings going on the board, basically everything in the housing market. And April, honestly, is shaping up the same way. As we all know, the real estate market kind of has a little bit of a lag as far as when we feel the impact of things that go on, like what's going on right now. If anybody was on, Caitlin, I don't know if you were on, she's Unstoppable this morning, just now listening to Tammy. But as Tammy said, there's kind of things that the financial analysts and the real estate market predictors watch for in global events like this, as far as ways of predicting how it's going to impact the real estate market. And back, as she was saying, back in 2006, 7, 8, 9, when Jim and I were certainly in the market, and we had the Great Recession, it came on very, very slowly. And so the housing market and our economy in general rebounded likewise very slowly. This one, from what the financial analysts are all saying, because it came on so quickly, and it's most likely going to pass just as quickly. I know it feels like a long time because we're all kind of stuck in our houses, but in the grand scheme of things, when you compare it to the Great Recession of 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, that lasted for a long time. It came on very slowly, or quickly, I guess, but it built slowly. Then it lasted a long time, and then it took a long time to rebound. This one came on very quickly. It's going to pass very quickly. And so everything is predicted to rebound equally as quickly. So that's exciting news, and it's good for all of us in the market to keep focused on the fact that, where typically June 30th is one of the highest closing days of the year. It may not be June 30th. It might be July 30th or August 30th. So we're not looking at this taking years to rebound from and effects rippling out for years. We're looking at weeks. So that's something really positive to focus on. We posted on Facebook, social media, the MAR numbers from Maryland Realtors with those statistics showing sales prices up year over this year from last year, closings up, everything up. So that's a great talking point that you guys can be using yourselves on your social media to be talking to people, because it absolutely is true. The market is strong and it's up. So just something to keep focused on. So the first thing I want to touch on, and then we have some ideas we really want to jump into, but I want to make sure you guys are paying attention to the Resource Center and all of the tools and training and resources that are coming out from corporate. I know it can be a little overwhelming, but there is literally almost something to do every single day to either be educating yourself, logging on to trainings. Our exit coaches are posting stuff, videos are being posted. So if you're not following all of our corporate trainers on social media, you absolutely should be. Key Assad posted an amazing video with an interview with Sunny Downey the other day, an exit broker from Florida. He's posting videos almost every day. Annette Anthony, follow her. She's posting videos almost every day. You should be getting emails from Janice Petaway with tips and ideas every single day. Tammy is posting things, Tammy Bunnell, so follow her if you're not already. Follow our corporate leaders. Ifoma Pierre, corporate trainer. Our Mid-Atlantic region just sent out an email this morning with a week's worth of training webinars coming up on different topics. So make sure that you're logging on and watching all of those. It's one every day. starting, I think, Monday, on all different topics. And they range from Mondays in the morning, Tuesdays at 6 o'clock in the evening, Wednesdays in the morning, Thursdays at 6 o'clock. So they alternate for you, but it's a different topic every day. So make sure you're watching and taking advantage of all of these resources. The other thing to recommend that we're recommending highly, and many of you have already done this, congratulations, Caitlin and Trisha, is sign up and take your free ePro designation course. If you haven't done it yet, it's easy to take. It doesn't take long. I know Saeed is almost done. The purpose of that is how to conduct business in an electronic world, in a virtual market. So it's a lot of tips and resources from what I've heard on how to do that and how to conduct business and prospect virtually. So if you haven't done it, you absolutely need to do that. It's free. It's a great time to do that. But in the Resource Center, you'll notice when you log in to be.exitrealty.com using your roster code and password, in here at the very, very top is all the information that you need, and you click right on Action 2020. So this is what's going to help you find all the tools from corporate about the stimulus package, and then also the Exit Facebook Ad Center. So this is where you can be going to run boosted Facebook ads in social media. It's extremely difficult now and very frustrating to get ads accepted for housing, anything real estate related, just through Facebook. So we're highly recommending that you use the Facebook Ad Center. You can upload your own audience that you want to target. If you have emails, you can upload those right to there, or you can just use the audiences that Facebook algorithms are targeting based on this program. But if you click on Action 2020, it's going to walk you into all of the stimulus resources that are coming out from corporate. So mine is going to have a few more things that yours may or may not have. But if you see all of these are all videos, guys, for free that are created by our corporate trainers, our corporate leaders, and loaded in here for you to go in and watch. 30 ways in 30 days. Well, this I think is for brokers. Like I said, some of these are for brokers. So if you don't see one that you see in yours that you see in mine, that's why. But all of these activities, these are short little, they might be 10-minute clips, they might be 2-minute clips, they might be 30-minute clips. But all of these you should be watching and paying attention to, all of these tips to help you build your business, because they're all there to help you guys and to grow. So buyers still want a place to grow roots, adapt or evaporate. So all of these, here's a great one, what the U.S. government stimulus package means. That was a really good one. So if you haven't watched that one, watch it. Lead your community, be the voice of knowledge and guidance. These are all great resources available to you guys. So make sure you're taking advantage of all of them and paying attention to them. So Jim, do you want to touch on one of the first ideas that we're kind of presenting today as ways of prospecting in a virtual market?
Yeah, well, first I want to share, so I've been in talk, and Tina has as well, with other brokers and other agents throughout the country, and I just want to let you guys know we are very, very, very fortunate that we can continue to do business. If you look at the state we border, Pennsylvania, they're handcuffed, they're locked down. Appraisers can't go out, home inspectors can't go out, agents cannot go out and meet clients at listing appointments or for showings. So, we're very fortunate that we can still conduct business, obviously in a safe manner, but, I would take that into consideration. And actually, right now is the time, there was an analogy used earlier on a webinar I was on, they're saying a lot of agents they self-furloughed themselves, so they're not being proactive right now. They're not working on their business. But we are the cavalry. We are the housing market. We have to get out there. We have to prospect. We have to let these people know that, hey, real estate is still going on. We're having, prices, there's still, for your sellers, there's still bid wars going on. There's limited inventory. The buyers that are out there now are serious. they're looking to buy. So those are messages that we have to convey. So one of the things, for those of you that have, that are newer, it's going to be a little bit different than the ones that do have a database, because some of the things we're going to talk about is how to connect with your database, or it could be, leads into some of your lead generation programs, different ways to connect and contact them. And one of the thoughts, one of the things that we can do, especially for anybody that we've sold to in the past, right now they're probably pretty concerned about their equity. So 90% of the people's wealth is in their equity in their homes. So one of the things that we can do, and we've talked about this in classes before, but this is a really good reason to actually start. I would set up all of your past sellers or past buyers who have bought homes, set them up on a listing alert for their neighborhood. So what I would do is just do a map search, set them up as if they were a buyer, right? So you want to put, I would do anything that comes active, anything that goes under contract, anything that sells. So they'll see that the market, the homes are still selling, the values are still there, just to give them some confidence. So you're going to be that piece of information for them. So you continue to stay in their mind as the professional, the ones bringing the message. So, as the market changes, we want to be there for them. We want to give them that information. Then change daily. One thing that we do have going for us is, you may talk to an agent that's in the Midwest, right? They probably have a different experience from us. We have a lot of things go areas. We have to keep that, in consideration that, we do have a lot of the best hospitals. We do have, a lot of government jobs, so people are pretty protected. The industries that, were hit hard in the beginning are your service industries, your bartenders, your servers, your barbershops, your daycare providers. So, those are the industries that were hit first. Then you go into now, more of your medical professions. If it's not essential, dermatology offices, all these things are going to come right back. So once things turn around, boom, there's going to be a surge, and they're going to come right back. But in the meantime, there's still a need for housing, right? So we're shelter. You have people that, like we've talked about before, if they're in the medical profession, they're working in ER, they may want to find temporary housing because they don't want to bring that. They're freaked out to bring this stuff back to their children. There's a lot of cases where, there's still people relocation, the essential services are relocating for work. So these are all the pros, the positives. But not only do we want to be in their minds, but we want to be in the minds when, when the market turns and becomes normal again. So this is a time that we really have to stay in communication. We're going to go over a few of those items, but I can roll right into it, Tina, if you want to just talk about some of the ideas that we were going over. So, hey, how many times have we talked about handwritten notes? I know, that's one thing that we pushed and pushed and pushed for years, but how cool would it be to get a handwritten note now? We're in our homes. There's, things that we find of more value than we used to, and that's going to be, personal touch, human contact. So reach out, write those notes. Hey, just check. It's perfect time. Just checking in on you, seeing how you're doing, thinking about you, whatever the case may be. It's a great time to just send those handwritten notes out. Very basic, but very effective. The other thing, we talked about video text messages. You can just send something, go through your contact list, start Z and go up. Hey, hope all is well. I hope the family's doing okay. If there's anything I can ever help with, I'm out showing homes once in a while. You need me to pick up something for you, whatever the case may be, or just I'm thinking about you. That text, it might be a client or somebody you sold a house to last year. Maybe you haven't had contact with them, but that, that text message would go a long way. So one thing I saw, it was pretty interesting. Somebody did a Facebook contest. So, they put out something on Facebook, and it was basically for engagement purpose. So, a Starbucks gift card, whatever it may be. I know Daryl put one out the other day where it was him and I when we were 17 years old or whatever it was. And, guess who the guys in the picture were type of thing. And whoever guessed it first, Starbucks gift card. So little things like that will keep the engagement, keep your contacts, in your mind, and just they'll still know that you're out there and you're doing things. What else?
Talk about phone calls.
One thing that I actually saw. I'm sorry, Tim.
Oh, that's all right. I was just gonna say, let's touch on phone calls a little bit
Touch base.
real quick. You know, when you are calling your clients and you're
Okay.
talking to them about the market and the values in their properties and those sorts of things, keep in mind that there's 4 points to each phone, you know, to every phone call. So you always want to start with an introduction. Ask them how they are. Right now, your introduction should be, how are things going for you guys? How are you faring through this? How is work? How are the kids doing with homeschooling? Whatever it is, start with your introduction. And then you're going to start with the reason why you're calling. I wanted to check in on you. So right now, you're calling to check in on them. You know, I'm just calling through all my friends and my close clients, people that, you know, I've worked with closely. I just want to let you know I'm here. How are you doing? How is this affecting you guys? And then the third is any points you want to cover. So going over any things that you want to cover about home values, you know, rest assured that your property value is still high. It's still maintaining value. We haven't lost real estate property values, have not lost equity through this. And then any other points that you want to touch on them, any dire needs that they might have, how can you help them with that right now? And then, of course, your wrap up, and that, you know, you're here for them, you're here to help. If there's anything you can do, running errands, if you're not immune compromised, what can I do to help you and your family? But the important thing to remember is, when we talk about being that constant, that power of positive attitude, keep in mind, call this a situation, not a pandemic. So the more we refer to this as our current situation, a pandemic sounds like a crisis. A situation is just a situation that's going to pass, and it's going to pass pretty quickly. So choosing your words very carefully is very important as well in instilling hope and helping to kind of control emotions through this. So those are just a kind of a couple tips. And then think about who you're calling. So we've talked a lot about calling your database and your past clients and your friends and family. But also, another call that you should be making is to agents, to other agents out there that you have built a relationship with or that you've co opted with. So, agents calling Sphere or agents calling clients is one. Agents calling other agents is another really important one to keep in mind. So, call the other agents that you know, ones that you're friends with on social media at other brands. What can I help you with? What kind of resources or support do you need right now? What are you getting? What are you not getting as far as support and resources? And then share with them. So if you've watched the video on the stimulus package and how they might be able to apply for any sort of payroll protection through their commercial banking or anything like that, and you have help and assistance you can offer to them, call and offer it. Because I can tell you, we've seen firsthand that most other brokerages right now are not offering the same resources that Exit is offering. They're not offering their agents a stimulus package, free coaching, free training, free programs. They're not offering any of that really. So, how can you reach out and help them is really important right now. Call your investors. How are your rental properties? If they're vacant or if they have vacant rental properties or they're struggling, let me help you. How can I help you? List it on Craigslist, list it on the internet. Let's get your properties rented. Um, Commercial real estate, if you are, Deb Smith isn't on here, but commercial real estate is another area that's struggling right now. So calling your commercial landlords, if you're working with any, or your listings, and offering to help them for maybe a flat fee right now to get their space rented, either short term or long term. So think about who you're calling and what your message is to each one, but who can you be talking to and what conversations can you be having that aren't just maybe real estate related conversations for buyers and sellers, but for recruiting, for investments, all of those sorts of topics are great conversations to be having right now. Jim?
Another thought is, for investors, some people, they may be in a situation where they put their home on an Airbnb or VRBO for short-term rentals, and right now they're probably not getting any bookings, especially their vacation type rentals. Those are more contacts to reach out to. Hey, if they're on this income to keep their the mortgages paid on these properties that maybe they moved out over, whatever the case may be. Find those ads, go into VRBO, go into Airbnb, try to cross-reference addresses with, you can look up contact on Agent Pro on the HomeSnap and start making those calls. Especially those newer agents that don't have a big database that they can work on first. Just an idea. Also, one thing, I don't know if any of you have opened your own Zoom accounts, but one idea that you can do is actually go over, like if you're working with buyers, to stay in front of them. Obviously you're not going to have as much one-on-one contact, but until you start the showing process. But what you can do is go onto Zoom, invite them into a screen share, and just start going over the MLS together. You can start doing searches together, have a two-way conversation. The video, you can still stay in front of them. One thing that I saw, it was a group a lot of groups are doing it now, but it was a group in Florida. They did it was 6 properties, and they did a virtual open house. It was really cool. So they opened in Facebook, they did I don't think it was a watch party, it was just something like an event. And there was 6 properties. It was, I think each property had its own agent on it. And there was one kind of moderator, and they were actually doing a screen share. I think it was on Zoom as well. They were doing a screen share and then doing a 3D walkthrough of each property. So each agent would go through the property. They would talk about each room. They would actually do the tour, and they would zoom around the room. And then there was interactive questions for the attendees in the meeting. So it was pretty cool. So, and obviously those are recorded, so that has longevity. But you do start doing those, and sellers are going to be your virtual listing appointments, and just say, I'll send that I did. And they're going to see that I can market. There's some ideas. I'm going to send you the actual link to that if anybody's interested, of that virtual open house. It was really neat how they did it. And
on the screen.
I think it lasted maybe, each maybe 15 minutes. I'm sorry?
It's up on the screen. If you're looking at the screen, I have it up.
Oh, okay. There it is. It is. Okay.
And this is how
yeah, so, and then each agent was two-way, yeah. But it might be worth taking a look at that, and you market it. It's a way to get out there again, just showing people you're still doing business. Business is still happening. Homes are still on the market. And then with that, I think I've posted it out there, but you can do your own 3D tour for free. So you download that Zillow 3D tour app. I can put it back on the webs on our Facebook group. You download that app, and it's so simple. So the one I did in the office took me like 5 minutes, and you can do this for, with the permission, to take that app and then go into, if you're previewing homes for a buyer that you're going to go through without them, you can do the tour also and with permission, and it kind of gives them a walkthrough experience. But on that, walk me right through it. Open the app up. I don't know if anybody's tried it yet, but it walks you through. So front door, living room, dining room, and you just take the camera. It's kind of like a panoramic picture where it kind of like gives you a line and tells you to slow down. So you just do that, and a 360, it connects it, and then it builds that 360 image per room. So you can walk through it. Super simple. Like I said, it's free. There's no cost. And right now it's only available on the phone. They haven't processed it for the Android yet, but it's a free resource that you can use, and it just gives somebody a different experience. So you can do your virtual tours for that, for your open houses, and then just use that slideshow and log on to it. So pretty, but yeah, give that a watch if you get a chance.
Another thing we wanted to touch on is online first-time home buyer seminars and seller seminars. So, we've talked before about first-time home buyer seminars, or just home buyer seminars, or move-up buyers, downsize buyers, all different types of topics you can have for virtual seminars. But and we've also talked about seller seminars for listings. So now is a great time, and you guys can organize your own first-time home buyer or seller seminars, move-up buyers, but hold virtual seminars each week. You can hold one a week right now, and it costs you absolutely nothing. You can get a couple of different speakers to come in and join you for it. So maybe you ask John James or whoever you're using for home inspections to come in and talk about getting your home ready for a home inspection, or to get ready to list it on the market. Maybe you have a contractor come on who does a lot of punch list items for home inspection repairs. Maybe you have an appraiser join you or for appraisal values and what they're seeing for appraisals right now for properties for your sellers. And then when you're doing your home buyer one, obviously you would have a lender come on and talk about financing right now and different options for financing and things to keep in mind during this market. You could have, I know Alicia Harkawa with Southern Trust has a credit expert, Mike. I'm sure a lot of lenders have them also, but maybe you have a credit expert on there to talk about credit repair. And so you can have these virtual seminars. There's one advertised on the screen for you. If you follow this Bartos group, you can see what they're doing basically to prospect and run a virtual business right now in this market. So there's a lot of great ideas how to host and advertise these different seminars. You would do them as a boosted ad, and then market it and try and get just as many people. Even if you have only a couple of people that join your virtual seminar, those are a couple of obviously motivated, interested buyers, right? So definitely something to think about and keep in mind. And you can post them. I was trying to find their events. Here they are, upcoming events. Post them as upcoming events on your Facebook business page. So this is that brokerage Jim was talking about, but look at all of these virtual things that they've been doing. This team, this is just a team, but they're basically doing virtual open houses, a couple a week for their listings. They're doing free online seminars for first-time home buyers, a 5-property virtual open house. So connect with the other agents in the office and ask them, hey, can I do a virtual open house for your listing this weekend? Or you can do evenings. You're not restricted now to times when buyers would be available, right? Because buyers are available a lot more easily and readily right now. So you could do an evening one for the same property, and then you could do a Saturday morning one to hit buyers at different times. So a lot of great opportunities. This free online seminar for first-time home buyers, and then have some speakers. Advertise who your speakers are going to be, and then market it on social media. You can do a boosted post. You can market it on Instagram. There's a lot of great ways that you can advertise it.
And I would sign up for those. Just, I would sit in, watch them, listen, get some ideas, steal the good ones.
Absolutely. Especially watch today at 1:30 is their 5 Naples Golf Homes virtual open house. I just shared it to our private exit group. So 1:30 today, if you don't have someplace to be, I would recommend being on their virtual tour to see how they hold it. And then partner up with some other agents in the office as well that have listings. So you could easily do a virtual multi-property virtual open house tour. I know several of our agents, for example, have listings in Arbutus. So partner up and do a couple of different virtual open houses for Arbutus properties or Ellicott City properties or wherever there are listings right now. But that's a great, great way to market virtually for business. Touching on, market mailing things. I know one of our agents just told me she just launched an Every Door Direct campaign and is sending out Every Door Direct mailers. Work with your lenders to do mailers right now because obviously people are at home, they're stuck in their houses. What do you think they're paying a lot of attention to? I don't know if everybody is, but I know every day I'm waiting for the mail to come. I don't even know why. It's all junk, but I'm waiting for the mail to come because it's something new and exciting in the day, right? So a lot of people are at home. A lot of people are paying attention to their mail more so now than ever before. So in addition to your handwritten note cards, you could be sending out Every Door Direct mail marketing postcards for your listings, for properties you're looking for buyers, advertising in a neighborhood, trying to pick up a listing for a buyer. Commercial properties, if you have a commercial property that you're advertising and you're focusing on commercial, do an Every Door Direct postcard. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing. You can advertise your virtual seminars through Every Door Direct mailers and send it out to households in addition to your social media advertising. So keep in mind, mailing things right now, it's a great time to be sending out mailers to people as well because they're stuck in their houses. So they're watching for their mail to come every day. Jim, you have anything else you wanted to add?
Well, I just want to remind everybody, I know we've talked about this, but we're working hard to prospect and get business. But when we get the business, we do have to be the voice of confidence. It's really important because if we don't communicate that well in our transactions, there's going to be, buyers are going to look for reasons to get out of a contract. We've had to deal with that over the last month or so, and it just comes down to fear, right? So, if we're not, if we're not part of the solution, we're part of the problems. So, we have to instill confidence, let them know real estate's always going to be around, always going to be strong. They're not going to lose crazy amounts of equity like they did in 2008 through 12 or whatever it was, that 4-year stint. I've noticed a trend with a lot of the conversations I have, and I can hear the fear in the agent's voice. Those are typically the agents that I have to work with their clients that are trying to get releases. So, we have to really be strong, let them know that, we can't let them talk to them about all the mortgages. They're going to fall out. There's all these changing. You're going to get to the day before settlement, and the mortgage companies are going to pull out because they're changing rules. We have to just keep plowing forward. And then, we're the real estate cavalry, right? So we are the ones who, make things happen in real estate. And they're just because we're going to get reports soon. Technically, it's got to be 2 quarters. For them to officially announce a recession, which we're in a recession right now, but a recession doesn't equal housing crisis, right? So, as we see, our market's still moving. So when you talk to your clients about that, let them know, hey, yeah, it's a recession because of unemployment. Not to say that surge isn't going to come right back, and employment's going to have massive gains when all this is over. But we are not in a housing crisis by any means. So. You're going to have those conversations. You're going to have sellers and buyers talking to you about that. And we just have to make sure, look, we're working really hard to prospect and be in front of people and get these clients. But, even more important, once we have them, we have to make sure they feel comfortable and they feel confident about moving forward and getting to the finish line. We had one that called me, are afraid to move. When the new, the stay-at-home order came out, they wanted to cancel their deal. It was like $600,000 settlement, and they wanted to cancel because they were afraid they were going to get locked up if they left their house and got in a moving truck. So I got an attorney opinion on that and had to call and try to smooth it out, but their mind was made up. And then a week later, the agent calls me and says, hey, these buyers, they found another house they want to look at, and they lost, it was a pretty steep deposit. I think it was $5,000 or $10,000, and they're like, they just walked away from it. But then, a week or 2 went by, they saw that, it wasn't the end of the world. And they called the agent back and said, look, we're sorry. We really want to get moving forward and buying a house. And so it was all just fear, and that fear just, put them into shock. And then, they didn't care about the consequences. So we just do have to be that voice of reason, let them know that, things are progressing real estate wise, and not to let it slow them down or, make decisions that are based on just fear that's not true.
All right, guys, that's pretty much what we had for today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to pop in and ask them. But otherwise, that's kind of our content for today. Hopefully that was helpful. I'll share some of these tips from this document in particular from our corporate site, which was expert advice in uncertain times. Different trainers and brokers sharing some great information. But of course, as always, we're here, we're available. So if we can help you with anything, if you're struggling with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out because we are here. And, we're happy to help in any way we can. So stay healthy, everybody, and stay busy. Hope to see you guys all soon.